I've been looking into politics, and something I found out recently, and I'm late to this party, madam. Things aren't quite as fair for you ladies as they should be, right? Now, I don't know much about you ladies, I have to be honest, only what mother's told me. I understand you're very emotional creatures. Yes, and you like to talk a lot. But it's nothing that can't be dealt with by a well-timed frown or a light, open-palmed strike across the cheek. Now, Mother also told me you have a group you like called the feminists. According to Mother, feminists almost exactly like Nazis, but not quite as well dressed. Like the sound of that, because I love films about the war, and I am a huge fan of Hugo Boss. Well, here's the thing, I've looked into it, and do you know what? Things aren't quite as fair for you ladies as they should be. Madam, have you heard of a series of books called The Mr. Men? Mr. Men. Do you know what the female counterparts are called? Rhetorical question, I'm going to tell you. They're called Little Miss. Do you think that's fair? I don't. Why aren't they called Mrs. Woman? Little Miss. Why are they tiny? Why are none of them allowed to get married? It's absolutely disgusting, and it gets worse. Let's start. Little Miss Naughty. She's going around being naughty. That's her name. That's her job. That's what she was born to do. She physically intimidates Mr. Small. She breaks Mr. Clever's glasses. She's carrying on like a tiny purple Oliver Reed. Mr. Men don't like that. They form a brutal kangaroo court, and they have Mr. Strong grab her nose. Very hard to stop her, and it works. And the moral of that story from Roger Hargreaves, women, know your place. Gets worse. Little Miss Scatterbrain goes to the bank and attempts to withdraw sausages. And the point that Hargreaves is making there is that females clearly cannot handle financial matters at all. Dreadful. Little Miss Neat leaves her house. While she's away, Mr. Muddle comes in, uninvited, and attempts to make himself a cup of tea, during the process of which he does everything but ruins the place and then leaves. Never punished in the narrative at any point. According to Roger Hargreaves, he's fine. On you go, Mr. Muddle. Little Miss Neat comes back and has to tidy everything up herself. And the moral of that one, men should never have to make the tea. Seems very much to me that every time Roger Hargreaves had an argument with his wife, a brand new Little Miss character was created. You been to the shops, darling? Did you remember my pipe tobacco? No, that's fine. Don't you worry about it, Little Miss Forgetful. Can you imagine, madam, if in your relationship every mistake you made was translated by your partner into 85 different languages and published around the world? Little Miss Paranoid as fuck. No, that's sorry. What about the men? Mr. Perfect, Mr. Happy, Mr. Strong. Where is Mr. Afraid of Commitment? Where is Mr. Passive Aggressive? I'll tell you where that chap is. He is writing the damn books is where he is. And the less said, Liverpool, about this one. Stark indeed. Hold your laughter, madam. This is grim. Sitting in his small house at the other side of the wood, he laughed and laughed. Every time he thought about all the people he had tickled. Practically Harvey Weinstein's biography, for Christ's sake.